Right, so we should now have all our vegetables prepared. I've got my bench clean now. I've put my chopping board to wash. My knives I've cleaned. I've not left them in the sink because it's a dangerous place to leave them in the sink. So I've cleaned them and put them to one side, out of the way, and I'm now ready to go to the next stage. So you can see everything's laid out. So here, carrots, celery, your peppers and onions. I've got my broccoli and French beans, my mushrooms nicely sliced, my courgettes, cabbage, chicken, my chilies and garlic and ginger, and I've also got my sunflower oil, soy sauce, salt and pepper, and I've got some noodles. You can either use rice noodles, for egg noodles, it's up to you what you want to use. So we'll now go to the next stage. Can I remind you, if you've cooked chili, to wash your hands and not touch your nose or your mouth or anywhere else, because it will sting. So we're now going through our recipe. We can see we've prepared all the vegetables. If we look at number 6, it says blanch and refresh fresh broccoli and French beans. Now, I'm now going to bring you down to stove level a little bit so you can see what we're doing. So you can see here, I've got a pan of hot water on here, and into there I'm going to put a little bit of salt, and that's boiling away now. I'm going to put my broccoli and French beans in there. Now what I'm going to do with those is can be called blanch and refresh. Now blanch and refresh, so put boiling hot water for a few minutes, bring it back to the boil, and then we're going to put it into cold water. And that will retain its colour when we are cooking. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I've got 2 pans here. So the first thing I want to do, you can do it in one frying pan, you can do it in your wok this and then move it across, it's up to you. But I'm going to cook my chicken off. So I'm going to get that oiled away. My pan on, and hopefully this pan's it's singing away quite nicely there. So I get my chicken on there. Got a wok here, which is all nicely cleaned and oiled out. That could be a frying pan for you. Depends what you've got in your kitchen. And I'll put a little bit of oil in there. And just make sure the oil goes all the way around. Turn it on high. It must be a really high stove. And give it a bit of stir. And into my wok, I'm going to put my hard veg. Let me just put one in. You'll hear it sizzle a bit there. That's good. That's just sizzling away now. So I'm going to put all the hard veg in. You can hear that sizzling now. That's my onions, peppers, celery, carrots. Give it a bit of a stir. And that's going to be cooking along quite nicely now. While that's cooking, I've got another pan of boiling water on here. And again, I'm going to put some salt in there. And I'm going to put my noodles in there to cook. You'll often find that different noodles have different instructions. You follow instructions on the back. On this one, it tells you how long to cook it for. Now you can hear that all sizzling away nicely. Now if we look at our vegetables now, we can see our green beans and our broccoli are bubbling away there. It's going to leave it another bit longer. And then I'm going to take across to the side of the kitchen and I'm going to put it into a colander to drain. Now this part of the green vegetables is called blanch. And the next part we're going to do is called refresh. So I'm going to take these across to my sink. And I'll pour those under my colander. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put them into some cold water, preferably iced water, and that will stop those cooking now. So they're not going to cook any further. I just want them to be nicely coloured now. Along nicely there. The stir fry won't take long, that's coming along now. Really want that as high as your stove can go. Keep that stirring. Give that a few minutes just to get going along. The chicken's cooking away there. Once these green vegetables are cooked for a few moments, cooled for a few moments, we're going to drain them again to get all the liquid out. You see now they're really nice colour on those, and if we're storing those, we're going to serve those tonight. If we've got them really cold, they would be the same colour tonight, and we could quickly just reheat them, whether it's in the microwave for like 20 seconds, 30 seconds, what your microwave instructions say, or whether you blanch and refresh them on the stove. So I'm just going to put those into there. So our vegetables are hard vegetables, cooking a few minutes now. Not quite hot enough this, but the chicken's cooking away there. So the next thing we can do, once your carrots and your hard veg have cooked for a few moments, we can start adding our softer veg. So we'll add our courgettes. Now the courgettes will cook quite quickly, so we don't want to be in it too long. You see it's building up here nicely now. Then we're going to add our cabbage. I'm trying to keep myself nice and neat and tidy. And you can see I've lined all my ingredients up in roughly the correct order I'm putting them in, so I don't forget. Coming along nicely. You can see our chicken is nearly cooked. Now it's important to make sure your chicken's cooked before you put it. If you're using tofu, will already be pre-cooked, so we'd add tofu, we could add some cubes of tofu right at the end when we're finished. So now we're going to add our mushrooms. Nearly done our egg noodles, very nearly done. And then we're ready to serve. Just a moment longer on this. Once you hear this sizzling and come together, chicken's nearly cooked. That chicken's starting to cook nicely now. So now we can add our garlic. They're all sizzling nicely down. And then we're going to add our chicken, or at this stage it might be our tofu. We'll add that to it. Now we've got ourselves a chicken stir fry, rather the vegetable and chicken stir fry than just the chicken stir fry. There's now a lot in there. It didn't look a lot to start with, but you see now there's a lot in there. That's only one chicken breast in there, and that's going to go a long way, that chicken breast. Now what we're looking for, the carrots will have a bit of crunch with them. You can try a carrot. That's just start a bit of crunch, but starting to feel cooked. We're about there. I'm going to put a little bit of salt in, not too much salt, because the soy sauce will have salt in it as well. We're going to add back those green veg that we kept all the nice colour on. You just want to turn those in so they've got some nice, getting a bit hot, and then we're going to throw in our soy sauce. Now, you can do this to eye if you want to. You can get various black bean sauces and all kinds of things you could use. As I said before, this is just a simple recipe to get the idea of doing a stir fry. And we've used, you can see we've used two different cooking methods on this. We used the stir fry for most of the vegetables. The green veg we blanched, refreshed and added to it. Now you can see it's actually starting to look like a stir fry. We'll leave that there a second. Now while that's been cooked, while the stir fry's been cooking, you see our egg noodles are now, yep, they're ready. So they only take about 3 or 4 minutes to say, read the recipe. I'm going to take those across to my sink and I'm going to drain those. You mix, get my bench cleaned a little bit, take this across all the sink. So I've got a nice clean area to prepare all my food on. You need just to taste, check your chicken's cooked, check it's cooked in the middle. Taste a little bit of carrot, about a teaspoon. Just a little bit of sauce in the bottom. Taste the sauce. See if it needs any seasoning. If you're happy with it, customers are happy with it. Next thing we do is get our plate and serve the dish. So I've drained my noodles and we put those at the bottom, like that, into my plate. So I've got my noodles on my plate like that. I'm then just going to put some of my vegetable mix on top. Try and get some of your broccoli and your French beans on top to get some nice colour on that. If you wanted to, you've got a few herbs, a bit of coriander, a bit of parsley on top of that, just to give it a colour to it. Make sure your bowl is nice and clean and tidy, and then we should get our vegetable stir fry like that. Hopefully you can see that, guys, what we've been doing. So that will be our vegetable stir fry. We've added chicken to that, and I've added some ginger and chili. You don't have to, you can just do the basic stir fry. What we're looking for is to use your knife skills to cut the vegetables. We're hopefully looking for you to understand what you're looking for when you are buying vegetables. Thank you very much. Good cooking.